In our last video series of 5 steps to get started homeschooling, we're going to talk about how to plan your homeschool year. It feels really great to have that shiny new lesson plan book in our hands and we can start to really see how we're going to plan out our homeschool year. However, most veteran homeschoolers will tell you that planning only 1 to 3 months at a time is the best start to your homeschooling. The reason why is because until we actually start working through each of our curriculum resources with each of our children, we're not 100% sure of how fast or slow we need to go. And sometimes life happens and we need a little bit of extra time, or we might actually be working ahead of schedule. And so when we only plan out 1 to 3 months, it gives us that time to test out our schedule, our curriculum options, and see how things are working with each of our children. And then we can adjust our plans moving forward rather than getting caught in that trap of feeling like we're always behind. That tends to stress out both moms and kids, and we don't want that. The second thing to consider when planning out your homeschool year is how many subjects that you can fit into your homeschool week. Now, we talked about this a little bit in video 3, but it's worth mentioning again that it's a great idea to start with those foundational subjects of reading, writing, and math, and then fill in the other subjects as your schedule allows, keeping in mind that you can use that rotation schedule that we talked about in video 3. The next thing to consider is homeschool classes and communities. Now, many local or online homeschooling groups have events throughout the year that you may want to incorporate into some of your unit studies or around seasonal celebrations that are important to your family. These homeschool organizations often also teach classes, and so that may be another factor when you're planning out your year to know when these classes meet, as they may not meet every single week of your homeschool year. These homeschool groups are a really fun way to make connections for your family too. One other thing that you might want to consider is planning to homeschool year-round. This is something that provides a little bit more structure and routine throughout the entire year and gives families the option of having shorter days or shorter weeks of homeschooling time. It really depends on what works for you and your family, and it's just something that does provide you that schedule. However, just please check with the laws in your area and make sure that if you have to complete a certain number of days by a certain date, that works for your family. In this series of 5 steps to get started homeschooling, we have talked about how to know what to teach your child, how to choose the right curriculum, how to create your homeschool schedule, how to organize your homeschool, and how to plan for your homeschool year. I hope you found these videos to be helpful, but if you have any other questions about homeschooling, be sure and leave them below. I really hope that you and your family have a wonderful homeschool year. Thanks so much for watching.